Meeting a Sigma male can be disturbing. There is something about him that feels different, even unsettling. It is not just his silence or his independence. It is the way he carries himself, as if he sees the world through sharper eyes than everyone else. A real Sigma male does not need to tell you who he is. His presence alone leaves you with questions you cannot easily answer. The Sigma male is not like the alpha who seeks attention or the beta who seeks approval. He walks his own path, guided by his own code. This makes him difficult to predict and even harder to influence. When you meet one, you often sense something unusual before you even understand it. His intelligence, his detachment, and his way of seeing straight through people combine to create an aura that many find unsettling. This disturbance does not come from noise or arrogance. It comes from his silence, his calm, and his refusal to play by the rules that control most men. You cannot easily categorize him, and that is what makes the encounter feel so different. In this video, we are going to explore 6 disturbing signs that reveal you have just met a real Sigma male. These are not ordinary habits or surface traits. They are deep patterns of behavior that show exactly why Sigma males unsettle people around them. By the end, you will understand why meeting a Sigma male feels less like meeting a person and more like crossing paths with a shadow that sees more than you realize. Sign number 1: prefers solitude over the crowd. The first disturbing sign that you have met a Sigma male is his preference for solitude. Unlike most people, he is not drawn to the noise of crowds or the comfort of social approval. He thrives in silence, in spaces where he can think and move without distraction. This preference makes him stand apart in a world where most seek constant connection. To outsiders, this solitude can seem cold or strange. Why would anyone choose to be alone so often? But for the Sigma male, it is not loneliness. It is freedom. Solitude allows him to control his environment, focus on his thoughts, and avoid the draining expectations of others. In solitude, he sharpens his mind and strengthens his independence. This preference often unsettles people. Humans are social creatures, and many cannot understand someone who walks away from groups so easily. When they see a man who does not need constant validation, it feels unnatural. It challenges the unspoken rule that people must belong to a circle. His solitude also gives him a sense of mystery. You cannot easily read a man who spends more time observing than performing. You may see him sitting quietly in the corner, avoiding attention, but his silence is not weakness. It is control. He chooses solitude because he gains power from it. Over time, people notice that his independence makes him harder to influence. Peer pressure does not work on him. Social rules hold little weight. He walks away from gatherings without hesitation, and he does not return simply to be accepted. This detachment is what makes his solitude disturbing to others. A Sigma male's solitude also shapes his relationships. He does not rush to fill his life with shallow bonds. Instead, he chooses only a few meaningful connections, and even those are held at a distance. For many, this feels cold. But for him, it is a way to protect his independence while still allowing space for rare trust. When you meet a man who does not need the crowd, who carries himself with calm distance, and who finds strength in being alone, you are likely face to face with a Sigma male. His solitude is not an accident. It is a sign of his true nature. Sign number 2. Moves quietly, observes everything. Another disturbing sign of a Sigma male is the way he moves through the world quietly while observing everything around him. He does not need to be the loudest voice in the room, nor does he seek to dominate with noise. Instead, he controls situations by seeing more than others realize. His intelligence hides in silence, and that silence unsettles people. When you meet him, you may notice how little he speaks at first. This is not shyness. It is calculation. He listens closely, studying words, gestures, and even small inconsistencies. His ability to notice what others overlook makes him unpredictable. People never know how much he has already seen or how much he understands. This quiet presence creates tension. While others rush to prove themselves, the Sigma male sits back, gathering information. He does not compete for attention, but his calm observation makes others nervous. It feels as if he can see right through them, stripping away the masks they wear. His observation extends beyond words. He pays attention to body language, to tone, and to silence itself. He notices the pauses in conversation, the glances exchanged, the nervous movements. All of these details give him knowledge others don't realize they are giving away. The disturbing part is how he uses this information. Sigma males rarely confront directly, but when they choose to speak, their words cut deeply because they are built on careful observation. A single comment can reveal more truth than hours of loud conversation. This ability also makes them hard to deceive. Lies rarely escape their notice. They may not always call someone out, but they store the information and act later. This quiet awareness gives them an edge in social and professional settings where others underestimate them. People often feel unsettled after speaking with a Sigma male, even if the conversation was short. They sense he noticed more than he revealed. That is the disturbing part of his intelligence. His silence is never empty, it is filled with observation. When you meet a man who says little but seems to see everything, you are likely standing in front of a true Sigma male. His quiet presence is not weakness. It is control, and it is one of the clearest signs of who he is. Sign number 3, rejects conformity, follows his own code. A disturbing sign that you have met a Sigma male is his rejection of conformity. Unlike most people who bend themselves to fit into groups or social rules, the Sigma male creates his own code and lives by it. This refusal to conform unsettles others because it breaks the invisible rules of society. From childhood, many people are taught to follow. They learn to obey authority, to copy what their peers are doing, and to adapt in order to belong. The Sigma male resists this from the beginning. He does not rebel for the sake of rebellion. He simply refuses to live dishonestly. If a rule does not make sense to him, he will not follow it. If a tradition feels empty, he will walk away. This independence often creates tension. Teachers, bosses, and even family members may see him as difficult because he cannot be controlled through the usual methods. He will not change his beliefs for approval. He will not bend his will to avoid criticism. This can disturb people because it exposes their own dependence on conformity. His personal code is not random. It is built carefully, often through long thought and reflection. He asks himself what matters, and he sets his standards accordingly. This code may look strange to others, but to him it is clear. He lives by it without apology. The disturbing part is how steady he is in this rejection. While others panic at the thought of being outcast, the Sigma male is unshaken. He is willing to lose friends, jobs, or recognition if it means keeping his code intact. His calm defiance can feel unnerving because it reminds people that their lives are often built on compromise. When you meet a man who does not bow to social pressure, who chooses his own code even when it costs him, you are likely standing in front of a Sigma male. His independence is not a pose. It is a deep rejection of conformity that defines his every choice. Sign number 4, emotionally controlled and acutely aware. Another disturbing sign of a Sigma male is his emotional control combined with awareness of others' feelings. At first he may appear distant or even cold, but beneath that calm exterior is a sharp understanding of emotions. He knows how people feel even when they try to hide it, and he knows how to keep his own emotions from showing when it does not serve him. This control makes him intimidating in tense situations. While others lose their temper or show fear, the Sigma male remains calm. His steady presence can shift the balance of a room. People may find this unsettling because they cannot read him. His silence hides his emotions, yet his eyes seem to read theirs. His awareness is not used for shallow manipulation. Instead, it gives him power to move through the world without being easily fooled. He notices small signs of stress, dishonesty, or attraction. Others might miss these details, but the Sigma male catches them instantly. This ability often leaves people feeling exposed, as if nothing about them is hidden. Emotional control also protects him. He does not give enemies the satisfaction of knowing his weakness. He does not hand strangers the keys to his feelings. This discipline allows him to keep advantage in both personal and professional life. The disturbing part is the combination of calmness and awareness. Many people are either detached but blind or aware but overwhelmed. The Sigma male is both controlled and perceptive. He sees deeply while showing little, and that imbalance creates a sense of mystery that unsettles others. When you meet a man who keeps his emotions hidden while reading yours clearly, you may feel uneasy. That unease is a clear sign you are face to face with a Sigma male. His emotional control and awareness are not an act, they are part of his nature. Sign number 5. Adaptable, yet unpredictable. The fifth disturbing sign of a Sigma male is his adaptability paired with unpredictability. At first, these two traits may seem opposite, but together they make him highly effective and deeply unsettling. Adaptability means he can fit into different situations without effort. He knows how to survive in silence, how to navigate groups, and how to move through life without drawing too much attention. He adjusts quickly when the environment changes. This flexibility makes him resilient where others struggle. But while he can adapt, he never becomes predictable. He chooses when and how to adjust, and he never lets others fully anticipate his next move. This unpredictability keeps people guessing. Just when they think they understand him, he shifts. In work settings, this can shock people. A Sigma male may stay quiet during meetings, blending in, but suddenly present a solution that no one expected. In relationships, he may appear distant, only to show depth and intensity at surprising moments. This combination of blending in and standing out makes him difficult to pin down. The disturbing part is that his unpredictability is controlled. He is not chaotic or random. He calculates his moves carefully. His adaptability allows him to navigate smoothly, while his unpredictability ensures no one can control him. People find this disturbing because they rely on patterns to feel safe. When someone breaks patterns while still remaining in control, it unsettles the mind. It makes others cautious, unsure of how to respond. When you meet a man who shifts easily to fit the moment but never becomes predictable, you are likely dealing with a Sigma male. His adaptability is his strength, and his unpredictability is his shield. Together they create an aura that is both impressive and disturbing. Sign number 6 operates under the radar. You only notice. After the most disturbing sign that you have met a true Sigma male is the way he operates under the radar. Unlike the alpha who announces his presence, or the beta who seeks comfort in visibility, the Sigma moves in silence. His influence is rarely obvious in the moment. You only notice its weight after the fact. This under-the-radar quality comes from his preference for subtlety. He does not compete loudly for attention, nor does he advertise his goals. Instead, he blends into the background, quietly watching, planning, and acting when the time is right. His power lies in being overlooked. By the time others realize his role in shaping an outcome, it is already too late to undo it. In social spaces, this can feel unsettling. You might remember him as the man who said very little at a gathering, only to realize later that his one comment shaped the entire direction of the conversation. In professional settings, he may avoid the spotlight, but still end up as the quiet force behind the most effective decisions. This quality makes him dangerous to those who underestimate him. People assume that silence means passivity. But for Sigma males, silence is camouflage. They are calculating while others are performing. They gather information, set strategies, and move only when the path is clear. When they finally act, their impact is greater because no one saw it coming. The disturbing part is how invisible this can feel. You may interact with a Sigma male and walk away unsure of who he really was, only to later realize the weight of the meeting. His ability to leave an impression without effort, to shift outcomes without noise, is what unsettles people most. When you meet a man whose presence feels light in the moment but heavy afterward, you have likely crossed paths with a Sigma male. His ability to operate under the radar is not weakness. It is mastery. And it is one of the clearest signs of his disturbing strength. Meeting a Sigma male is not like meeting anyone else. His presence disturbs not because he is loud, but because he is quiet. He unsettles not because he dominates, but because he refuses to play by the rules. His solitude, his sharp observation, his rejection of conformity, his emotional control, his adaptability, and his ability to work under the radar all combine to form a man who cannot be easily understood or influenced. The disturbing part is that you often realize his impact too late. He does not announce himself, yet you remember him. He does not try to impress, yet his silence leaves a mark. He does not seek control, yet his awareness shifts the balance of every space he enters. A real Sigma male reminds us that true power does not need to perform. It does not need to roar or demand recognition. It hides in calmness, in intelligence, and in the refusal to bend. That is what makes meeting him disturbing, because deep down you sense that his strength is real and it is beyond your reach.